7 clear signs to know if they are the one. There comes a moment in almost every relationship where you pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself quietly, is this it? Is this the one? Not just the one for right now, but the one who walks with you through seasons, who sees your mess and stays, who chooses you on ordinary days, not just the magical ones. And let's be honest, in a world filled with dating apps, highlight reels on Instagram, and endless advice columns, love can feel more like a guessing game than a gentle knowing. But real love isn't meant to confuse you, it's meant to give your heart clarity. Not because it's perfect, but because it's peaceful. So if you're wondering whether the person in your life is truly the one, I invite you to lean in as we explore 7 deeply human, honest, and healing signs that may tell you what your soul already senses. Part 1. You feel safe being fully yourself. The very first sign that you've met someone truly meant for you isn't about passion or perfection, it's about safety. Not the kind of safety that comes from routine, but the kind that lets you breathe deeper around them. You don't feel like you need to perform. You're not constantly editing your words to keep them interested or walking on eggshells to avoid upsetting them. Instead, you laugh a little louder. You say silly things. You talk about your weird childhood fears, or your awkward obsession with baking shows. You don't try to be cooler or quieter or smarter than you are, you're just you. And the most beautiful part? They love you in that space. In fact, they seem to lean in even more when you're most unfiltered. I've met couples who've been together 30 years, and when I ask them the secret, they often say, I never had to pretend. That's not something you find every day. When you feel emotionally naked and still held, still cherished, still enough, pause. That kind of connection is rare. And it's the kind of soil where real love grows. Part 2. It's not just Netflix compatibility. It's life compatibility. We all love someone who gets our taste in music or can quote our favorite movie lines. But that's not what keeps a relationship strong at 3 a.m. when your mom gets sick or when money is tight or when one of you loses a job. The one you build forever with is someone who shares your deepest values. Things like honesty, compassion, loyalty, kindness, these aren't optional. They're anchors. You might love traveling, while they prefer quiet weekends at home. That's okay. You can compromise on vacations. But can you compromise on how you raise kids? On how you handle conflict? On how you define respect? I once spoke with a woman named Claire who told me she ended a 5-year relationship not because they fought all the time, but because when they talked about the future, their dreams always seemed to pull in opposite directions. He wanted a life rooted in simplicity and nature. She felt deeply called to a career in the city. And despite the love they had, she knew the gap would widen over time. Knowing if someone is the one isn't just about how they make you feel today, it's about whether the life you're both reaching for can be built side by side. And if your values align, even when preferences don't, that's something sacred. Part 3. They show up for you. Consistently. It's easy to say, I'm always here for you. But when real life hits, when you're overwhelmed, heartbroken, or just quietly falling apart at the edges, who actually shows up? The one isn't just the person who texts sweet things when life is good. They're the person who rearranges their day to be there when you're struggling. They don't disappear when things get complicated. They lean in. I remember a story of a young couple named Evan and Donnie. Donnie had just lost her dad, and for weeks she couldn't get out of bed. Evan didn't try to fix her grief. He didn't offer cheesy positivity. Instead, he sat beside her, brought her tea, held her when she cried, and just quietly stayed. That's love. The kind that doesn't flinch at your brokenness. The kind that listens without rushing you to heal. The one who's meant for you will be consistent, not perfect, but present. And the truth is, Showing up when it's inconvenient reveals more about someone's heart than 1,000 romantic gestures ever could. So ask yourself, not just, do they love me, but, do they show me? Love is proven in the small, faithful moments. That's where you'll find your answer. Part 4. Conflict doesn't break you, it grows you. Every couple argues. That's not a sign of dysfunction, it's a sign of humanity. But how you argue, that's where the truth reveals itself. With the one, disagreements don't become wars. They don't weaponize your vulnerabilities or keep score of your mistakes. They don't make you feel small or ashamed for having feelings. Instead, even in the heat of tension, there's an undertone of care. They want to understand, not just win. They don't storm out at the first sign of conflict or ghost you for days to punish you. And you don't feel like you're constantly fighting just to be heard. I remember a woman named Anna who once said, "We've never had a perfect relationship, but we've always had respectful fights." That stuck with me, because the right person isn't someone who avoids hard conversations, they lean into them with gentleness. And each conflict becomes a brick, not in a wall between you, but in the bridge you build together. You come out stronger, wiser, more connected, if you can face problems and still choose each other, not out of habit, but out of love. You're not just surviving, you're building something that lasts. Part 5. When you picture the future, they're already there. There's a kind of love that makes the future feel less like a blur and more like a story you're excited to live. The one is not just someone you love today, but someone who makes tomorrow feel safer. You start to plan differently, not because you're rushing commitment, but because their presence has become a quiet constant in your life. I've spoken with people who said, before them, I always imagined my future alone. Now, I can't picture it without them. That doesn't mean every detail is figured out, far from it. But the thought of walking through life with them beside you brings a sense of peace. Not panic. They don't complicate your dreams, they fold into them. You think about birthdays, holidays, moving, aging, and their face is there. That's not fantasy. That's your heart signaling something real. Because true love makes the unknown a little less frightening. When you've met the one, you stop asking, will they still be here, and start asking, how can we grow together from here? Part 6. They make you want to be better, without changing who you are. There's a difference between someone trying to fix you and someone inspiring you to grow. The one never makes you feel like you're not enough. They accept you fully, but their love has a way of awakening the best in you. You feel motivated to heal old wounds, to chase that dream, to forgive more quickly, not because they pressure you to, but because their belief in you makes you believe in yourself. I once met a man who said, before her, I never thought I could be a gentle person. I grew up hard, but she never made me feel ashamed of that. She just loved me in a way that softened the rough edges. That's what the right kind of love does. It doesn't control you. It frees you. It doesn't mold you into someone else. It helps you bloom into who you've always been meant to be. You grow, not away from them, but towards something greater together. If they bring out more light in you, and you do the same for them, that's a kind of alchemy worth holding on to. Part 7. Your heart feels peaceful. Sometimes, the loudest signs aren't loud at all. They're quiet, gentle, subtle. You're not obsessively overthinking every word they say. You're not walking on emotional eggshells. You're not constantly questioning if you matter. Instead, there's a calmness in your chest when you're with them. A soft knowing. I can't tell you how many people have told me, I knew they were the one because being with them felt like home. Not a rush, not a high, but a stillness. The kind of love that doesn't steal your breath, it gives it back to you. You can sleep well after a conversation. You feel safe, even in silence. That kind of peace is often overlooked in our world of intense drama and emotional roller coasters. But real love doesn't spin you in circles. It steadies you. If you feel calm in their presence, seen without begging, loved without games, trust that. The soul recognizes what the mind takes time to understand. Closing thoughts. Listen to what your soul already knows. If you've made it this far, maybe you're already thinking about someone. Maybe their face showed up while you listened to these signs. Or maybe your heart whispered, "That's what I want." Here's the thing. Love doesn't need to be loud to be real. It doesn't need to look like a movie. Sometimes, it's quiet dinners, honest apologies, supportive glances, safe arms. If you feel these signs in your relationship, or even in the beginning of something new, honor that. Water it. Don't take it for granted. Because the one isn't found through fireworks. They're revealed through peace, presence, and the patient unfolding of everyday love. And when you find that kind of love, you'll know. Not because someone told you, but because something deep inside you simply exhales. Yes, this feels like home. If you found this video meaningful, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. If you're facing unresolved challenges in your own marriage, we invite you to share your story in the comments below. We read every message, and we hope our words of encouragement will give you the strength to keep going. Even on the hardest days, we're here with you, and we look forward to seeing you again in the next episode.